So, it's about 8:30 in the evening. That computer clock is an hour ahead. And we left at 7:30 in the morning, so we've been underway for about 13 hours. And from our present position, we've got a little less than 25 miles to go. So in the past 13 hours, we've covered about 75 miles, which is pretty good going. And you look down, as you can see, right now we're doing a little over 8 knots. It's generally consistently been doing about 7 to 8 knots. So I reckon we have about 2 to 2.5 knots of favorable current. So we're getting a nice boost from the Gulf Stream here. And winds are generally kind of about 13, 15 knots. And we're bouncing around the Gulf Stream, but generally it's fairly pleasant sailing. So, with the help of OpenCPN here, it looks like we're going to find our way into Key Biscayne. Probably just a little after midnight, if all goes well. We'll see where we are then. So I actually called this one just about right. I was anchored down off Key Biscayne right outside of No Name Harbor just after midnight. So this one went smoothly for once. However, that cold front did go through, and the trailing winds were quite strong for several days. So we're here anchored behind Key Biscayne. And the city dead ahead, that's Coconut Grove. It's wintertime in Florida, so we got the usual 15 to 25 knots of wind. We got a little break from it last night. Yesterday evening, the winds died down. Even managed to get some peaceful sleep in until about midnight. And then this stuff just came howling back in again. And might ease up a bit this evening. So, I'm on my way on a short sail over to Coconut Grove, Dinner Key, to get water and groceries. And that was before I found out that I could get both water and groceries right here at Key Biscayne. But never mind. Like a lot of anchorages in Florida, you have a tidal current flowing through. And right now we have a flooding current, which is preventing the boat from coming up head to wind. So what I'm doing is raising the mainsail and then letting her sail up on the anchor a bit. And then let the anchor, as she comes around on the other tack, when the anchor comes taut, is pulling an anchor chain. And just keep doing that until the anchor breaks out. Alright, well, I'm cranking in the chain now. It looks like she's going to sail over the anchor and break it out. And then once the anchor breaks out, then we can quickly pick it up and sail away. Oops, just kidding. The anchor didn't break out. And now pulling her back onto port tack. So I'll pull in some more chain. Here we go. Now it broke out. So now I'm picking the anchor up. And free that pesky reefing line there. Sheet in the main. And away we go. Phew! This engineless sailing stuff is a lot of work. So, Biscayne Bay, especially on the weekends, is just crawling with boat traffic, sport fishes, all kinds of yacht races, regattas going on. So you definitely got to keep a sharp eye out when you're sailing. However, if you sail in the very early morning, here I am leaving Coconut Grove, headed back to Key Biscayne. As you can see, you pretty much have the bay to yourself, and it's nice and peaceful sailing. Okay, so here we are, Key Biscayne, right by Miami, and we're headed back to the Chesapeake. We're heading back a little early this year. It's March 9th, and because we're early in the season, I don't anticipate being able to make this passage in one go, at least not if we want to avoid bad weather. Because still in the winter, and we're in the spring now, these weather systems, cold fronts and lows, are still coming off the East Coast fairly frequently, and they're liable to be fairly strong. So I think what we're going to do is we're looking for a window to do this in about 2 or 3 hops. If we can get a window long enough, we might be able to hop to Beaufort and then pick another window to go out around Hatteras, because that tends to be the dodgiest part of the whole thing. If not, the other possible stopover I'm looking at is St. Catharines Sound, which is right about in here. And there's Walberg Creek, which supposedly is a good anchorage there. So that's a run of a little under 400 miles. So if we can get a window of 3 or 4 days, we could get there and then jump from there to Beaufort, and then Beaufort back to the Chesapeake Bay. So we'll just see how that goes. Right now we're dealing with another crazy wind situation. We got easterly winds 20 to 25, and then squalls go through, gusting 35. So we're just hanging on our anchor right now, not going anywhere. Just to drill down a little further here, presently we're anchored right about here, right off of No Name Harbor. And so we'll sail out through the old Florida Channel, right out through here, and you get out to this last red day marker, and then we head off. We'll sort of head northeast initially to get out into the Gulf Stream. And generally, we should start picking up the Gulf Stream right when you get off this shelf here. See the shallow water? Once you start getting into the deeper water, it quickly drops off. Once you're about 5 or 6 miles out, you're in 1,000 feet of water. So we should have favorable current then. So off we go. So then we're on our way, basically just following the Florida coast up through the Straits of Florida. Now, as I said, my plan is just to watch the weather from my inReach there. And once we get somewhere around here, we got 2 choices. We can try to carry on to Beaufort, or if it looks like we have bad weather coming off the coast, we could divert to St. Catharines Sound there. And supposedly there's a pretty good anchorage right there. So here we are. No, we don't want to go in the 2-foot spot. So you can come in here, and they say there's a decent anchorage just right around. You just go right down into Walberg Creek here. And it sounds like if you just get right around the corner, sort of in this basin here, it'll be nice and protected in case there's bad weather. So that's a possibility. So in making my preparations to head offshore, I noticed a few frayed ends aloft. Turns out it was one of the seizings to the staysail halyard. So quick trip up to redo that. And it was a bit of a hasty job because where I'm anchored here is prone to boat traffic, especially those big sport fishes that head out to the fishing grounds. And if you're aloft doing a job when one of those goes by, it can be quite a ride. It is Sunday, the Ides of March, so beware of anybody offering you a coronation. You can see behind me is Miami. We just departed the old Florida Channel by Key Biscayne this morning, around 10 o'clock, and we are bound for Beaufort, North Carolina. A run of about 500 miles. Got a pretty good weather forecast. Let's hope it holds. Looks like a weak front's going to move offshore around Tuesday or so and then stall and lift back as a warm front, which is just going to give us southerly winds. We just have to make sure, it looks like we just have to make sure we make it into Beaufort by Saturday morning. So 6 days. So hopefully we can run the 500 miles in 6 days. As long as we make it in before then, it looks like we should be fine. After that, it looks like a pretty strong low developing off Hatteras. So we want to be tucked in safe when that hits. So I had a pretty fun time in Biscayne, Key Biscayne, without adventures though. I was really getting pretty shaggy, so found the nearest hair salon. Didn't see any barbershops, only hair salons, which is just a barbershop that charges more. And told the guy, shape the sides and back with the number 2 comb, taper it, and use the clippers on top. Just clip it, leave just enough for me to comb. And the guy just shaved my head. It was just like he was shearing a sheep, and charged me $30. So, well, at least I got my hair cut. Gotta admit, it is pretty low maintenance this way, so there's an upside. But we got just beautiful sailing out here, and we just got out in the Gulf Stream. We got a good 2 knots of current going with us. So we're doing kind of 4 to 5 knots through the water, but we're doing over 6 over the ground. So we're moving right along here. It's forecast to be light winds for the next couple of days, but we'll have this boost from the Gulf Stream. So even if we're only making a couple of knots through the water, we should have 2 to 3 knots of current helping us along. So we should be covering ground in any case. So that's all the news that's fit to print. And talk to y'all again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.